ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Dear friends, we are in this fourth mantra, that is Anejadekam Manaso Javiyah Nainaddeva Apnuvan Purvamarshatu. That line has been explained. Tat dhavato anyanatyeti tishtat tasmin apo matarishva dadhati. This line I think we have to read. Now we have to explain. So in the Bhashyam we have read up to what is called Upadhikatvam, Sopadhikatvam and Nirupadhikatvam. And I was explaining in the last class, I was explaining what is an Upadhi. Whenever we hear the word Upadhi, we have to immediately recollect a crystal, which is a pure crystal, and then some flower, a red flower, it may be a blue flower, it may be some other pink flower, whatever it is. The flower, by its proximity to this crystal, it is giving as though it is giving some of its qualities to the crystal. The crystal also will appear either red or pink or green depending on the color of the flower. So the flower, by being near Upa Samipe Adhi Adadhati, its own qualities it is transferring to the other object. So the mind is something which is an Upadhi, and all these Upadhi dharmas like Raga, Dvesha, Kama, Krodha, all these things, they are attributed to the Atman. So Sopadhikatvena, he looks many. The same Brahman, the same absolute, say pure consciousness, which has absolutely no attachment or anything. By being proximate to this Upadhi dharma is looking reflected in that, and then that Chaitanya, Shuddha Chaitanya, which is only one and only one, that is appearing as many. That is what we see as the diversity in the world. So that is what we read last time. We read this line. Sarvavyapi tat atmatattvam sarva samsara dharma varjitam. It is not connected with any of these samsara dharmas, any of the characteristics of this world. It is unconnected. Svena nirupadhikena swarupena avikriyameva sat. By its own unconditional state, nirupadhikena rupena, that is in its own unconditional state of existence, that is as pure consciousness, it has nothing to do, and then it is avikari, it is, it undergoes no modification. While being so, upadhikrutaha sarva samsara vikriyaha anubhavati iva vivekinam mudhanam anekamivacha pratideham pratyavabhasate. So in all these bodies which we see, whether it is a human body or an animal body or some insentient object, in all these things, the same Brahma Chaitanya appears as though it is manifest in so many different things. So that is the line which we have read. Next line let us read. Tat dhāvataha dhrutam gacchataha anyan atma vilakshanan atma vilakshanan vag indriya prabhutin atyeti aditya gacchati va. Okay, that dhāvataha, that means, what is that? That is that Atma Tattvam. Dhāvataha anyan atyeti. Dhāvataha anyan. All other running objects, it overtakes. Atyeti means atitya gacchati. It overtakes. Atitya gacchati. It overtakes and moves forward. What does it mean? Simply, in fact, in the last class, I told the story of this Lord Ganesha. Ganesha, he just does some sort of circumambulation around his parents, who are nothing but the Shuddha Chaitanya and Maya Shakti. Shuddha Chaitanya and in that Shuddha Chaitanya this manifestation is Maya Shakti, and from this Maya Shakti this entire Jagat has originated or appears to have originated. So that is our Siddhanta. So Lord Ganesha in that Brahmatma Bhava, so he just goes around his parents and then he is happy, and this his elder brother who goes to all these tirthas, all these punya tirthas, and then wherever he goes he already sees Lord Ganesha. He has already taken a bath in that river and then he is going to next destination. So that is what I was saying. So tad dhavataha anyan atyeti means this Brahma Tattva, this Shuddha Chaitanya is something which is there everywhere. So that is why the faster you move, it is already there. The faster you move, it is already there. Whatever fast moving object is there, this Chaitanya is already there. So dhrutam gacchataha. Dhrutam means fast. Dhrutam gacchataha. Dhrutam gacchataha. What are those things? Anyan. Atma vilakshanan. This Atma vilakshanan, mano, vak, indriya, prabhutin. Atma vilakshana. That is something different from Atma. Vilakshana is different, Lakshana is different. Lakshana means a definition or something is a characteristic. Atma Vilakshana means something which is different from Atma. Atma Vilakshana, Anyan, all other objects, Atyeti, Atitya Gachit. What are these Atma Vilakshanas? He is also explaining Mano, Vak, Indriya, Prabhutin. We have seen even in the Gita class, Manas is the thing which is something like a leader, which is something like a captain for all these Indriyas. So these Indriyas, they also drag a person, they also move forward. I is the fastest because I can see for a long, at a long distance I can see. Here maybe a few, maybe 100 yards or something like that. Maybe something twak, its distance is very close, unless you touch, you can't say it can't feel. So like that, these have a particular range, these have a particular range of vision, range of perception. But then mind is something which goes much, much faster. Sitting here, I can think of, say, some Brahmaloka. Sitting here, I can think of some other Loka or some other, say, world, some other country in the same world. So, like that. So, but this Atma Chaitanya is something which is all pervading. So, that is why it is existing everywhere. So, that is how we can say it is Atitya Gacchati. It has already overtaken all these fast moving things, and it is already there, which means it is never moving. And the idea that it is never moving, it is contained in the next word, Tishtat. Tat dhavataha anyan atyeti tishtat. Tishtat means while remaining where it is. So that is what Shankaracharya is explaining. Atma vilakshanan manovagindriyan indriya prabhutin atyeti atitya gacchati iva. Iva artham swayameva darshayati tishtat iti. So by using the word tishtat means while being stationary. Tishtat is while being stationary. Tishtan is Pumlinga, Tishtat is Napumsakalinga. This Brahma Tattvam or Atma Tattvam is in Napumsakalinga. We always refer to Brahman in Napumsakalinga, that is neuter gender. So that is why it is Tishtat. While being stationary, it overtakes everything. So that is what he says. Iva artham swayameva drashayati. Iva means as though moving. As though moving. That is indicated by the word Tishtat. Which means that it is not actually moving, it is stationary. Then Swayam Avikriyameva Sat Ityarthaha. So which means Swayam Avikriyam. Avikriyam means that which does not undergo any change. Atma Tattvam or Brahma Tattvam is something which does not undergo any change. And because of the Upadhi, it is looking as though it is undergoing some change. Because of this Upadhi, it is looking as though it is overtaking everything, which all other running things, all other fast moving things, it is overtaking already. So like that, it is appearing as though it is like that, but by nature, by its own nature, it is unmoving. Tishtat. Tad dhavataha anyan atyeti tishtat. So is it clear? Yes. The next is Tasmin apaha matarishva dadhati. That segment he is explaining now. Tasmin Atma Tattve Sati Nitya Chaitanya Swabhave Matarishva Matari Antarikshe Shvayati Gacchati Iti Matarishva Vayuhu Sarva Pranibhrut क्रियात्मकः यदाश्रयाणि कार्यकरणजातानि यस्मिन् ओतानि प्रोतानि च यत् सूत्रसंज्ञकं सर्वस्य जगतः विधारयितृ स मातरिश्वा. So he has given a long explanation for the word Matarishva. So tasmin apaha Matarishva dadhati. So that is the picture. So he has just given the meaning of this Matarishva. So Mataha means Antariksha. Antariksha we know, space. Beyond space also, that is called Antariksha. Mataha, Matari is in space. In that Antariksha, in that vast expanse, Shvayati. Shvayati means Gacchati. Matari Shvayati Gacchati iti Matarishva. One who is pervading this whole universe, one who is pervading this whole expanse of Antariksha, let us say. So here we have to distinguish between Brahman and this Matarishva. The first thing we should not confuse that this Matarishva with the Supreme Brahman. So this Matarishva is only a manifestation in that Supreme Brahman. This is otherwise called Sutratma. That is, Shankaracharya is explaining. It is otherwise called Sutratma. It is otherwise called Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha. So I will explain what this Hiranyagarbha is. So we, as a human body is there. Human body, there is an external appearance for this human body. You have a particular height, you have a particular size, you have a particular girth, you have a particular weight and whatnot, and then this is the sthula body, which is consisting of some blood, flesh, and then some bones and whatnot, some skin and whatnot. This is the sthula sharira. But this sthula sharira is not the main thing. There is what is called sukshma sharira. We know that there is what is called a sukshma sharira. So this sthula sharira is guided by the indriyas. So indriyas, they are subtle, more subtle than the body. Indriyas, that is the sense organs, they are more subtle. And much subtler is the mind. Subtle thing is the mind. This prana is something which is again a subtle thing. So these three things put together, that is indriyas, the mind and the pranas, all these put together, they are called the sukshma sharira. We know that is called the subtle body. In English we call it the subtle body. So this is at the human level. Not only human level, it can be an animal, it can be a plant, it can be anything. So all these things, this is the subtle body. I'm sorry, this is the gross, one side is the gross body and the other is the subtle body. Even a plant, it feels pain. So there, obviously it has some subtle body. There is some life in that. It has some, that itself is the subtle body in that. So this subtle body we are visualizing at the level of a small microcosm, let us say. A human body is a sort of microcosm, a small universe. What is microcosm? Micro is a small, cosm is universe. Microcosm is a small universe. And this macrocosm, that is this entire thing consisting of sun, moon, this entire space and then all the galaxies and whatnot. This whole thing, there is some life force in that. This whole thing, all these galaxies, sun, moon and all these things, that is called the physical body. That is somewhat similar to our physical body. The life force which is in that, the life force which is actually infusing life in us, the life force which is activating our senses. So that is called Sutratma, that is the subtle body at the cosmic level. You follow this? There is a subtle body at a human level or an individual level, and there is a subtle body and a gross body at the cosmic level. The gross body at the cosmic level is sun, moon, galaxies, what this, that and what not. And then there is also a life force in that. There is also a prana shakti. Then there is also there is some ability to activate our senses. There is an ability to activate our mind. That Shuddha Chaitanya's reflection it has to take. So all these things, that is called the subtle body at the cosmic level. So this subtle body at the cosmic level is called Hiranyagarbha or Sutratma. What is a sutra? Sutram, Mangala Sutram. What is Sutram? Sutra is a small thread. Sutra is a thread, isn't it? Sutra, you know, Mangala Sutram, you know. Sutra is a thread. Sutratma is, it is something which is something like a sutra. It is like a thread which is inherent in all things. Sutra, so like just like a sutra, just like a thread in a garland, just like a thread in a garland, it is there in all beings. So that is called a Sutratma. It is otherwise called Hiranyagarbha. And at the cosmic level, there is a Sthula Sharira, as I said. That Sthula Sharira is called Virat. Virat Purushaha. Vishwa Taijasa Prajna. That is that, in fact, we get in what is this Mandukya Upanishad. So at the cosmic level, this Sthula Sharira is called Virat Purusha. In fact, that Virat Purusha, we also refer to that Virat Purusha in where? Purusha Suktam. Every day you must be reciting Purusha Suktam. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, all those things. So that is this Virat Purusha. Virajo Adhi Purusha, that is this Purusha who is described in that, what is this Purusha Sukta, is beyond that Virat. Virajo Adhi, that is beyond that Virat is that Purusha. That is referring to the whole subtle and say gross body at a cosmic level. That is that Purusha who is described in that Purusha Sukta. So at the cosmic level, the gross body is called, there is no such body, there is no human body or an animal body or anything. That gross, say that tattva or that entity, let us say, that is called Virat. And at the cosmic level, the subtle entity is called Hiranyagarbha. There is no human being or something like that, neither a human say shape, nor an animal shape, nor an ant shape. We have to always, we can remember that, Mr. Swami Vivekananda's statement, if an ant were to have a thinking capacity, it would visualize God as a huge ant with 1,000 heads and then thousands and thousands of legs and things like that. So that is how a human mind works. That is how conditioned we are. The mind is conditioned to think in that line. But then Vedanta goes beyond that conditioning. It actually deconditions a man from such a thinking and then takes him beyond that thinking. So that is what Vedanta does. So here, let us read this line. Tasmin Atma Tattve Sati Nitya Chaitanya Swabhave. Tasmin Atma Sattve Sati. This word Tasmin means in that. Literally it means in that. That is a Saptami Vibhakti. But here it is Sati Saptami. I have explained this Sati Saptami. Tasmin Sati means under its presence, under its supervision, while that is existing. So in any manner we can take. While that Atma, while that Brahma Tattva exists, or under its supervision. Apaha Matarishva Dadhati. So under its supervision or under its presence, let us say, not even supervision. Supervision again means some active involvement. There is no active involvement of Brahma also. There is no involvement of Brahma in supervising this world. So under its presence, only it is something like a sun, which is sun's rays which are falling on a reflecting surface, and the sun's activity is not there in that. If it falls on a stone, it doesn't reflect. If it falls on a mirror, it reflects. So it is like that. So in its presence, Tasmin Atma Tattve Sati, in the presence of that Atma Tattva, which is again what? Nitya Chaitanya Swabhave. That's Swabhava or characteristic is Nitya Chaitanya. That is always. That is Nitya is something, what is that? Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta. Nitya is something which is Trikala Badhyam, that which cannot be negated either in past, present and future, which is ever existing. Nitya is something which is everlasting, ever existing. What thing is that? That Chaitanya Swabhava, that pure consciousness. So that is the consciousness. So in its presence, Matarishva, Matari Antarikshe Swayati Gacchati iti Matarishva. Then Matari, I said Mataha means Antariksha. Matari is Saptami Vibhakti. That is in that Antariksha, Swayati Gacchati iti Matarishva. And Shankaracharya is giving the meaning Vayuhu. That is Vayu. Air, he gives the meaning first. Then he also says, he explains Sarva Pranabhrut Kriyatmakaha Yadashrayani Karyakarana Jatani Yasmin Votani Protani Cha. So that Vayu, which is called Prana Shakti, it is also called Kriya Shakti. Kriyatmakaha Yadashrayani Karyakarana Jatani. So he says that Vayu is something which is Kriyatmaka. there we talk about these three Shaktis, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti. So this Kriya Shakti and Ichha Shakti, they are there in this thing. So this Jnana Shakti is a reflection, maybe it is coming from, it is coming from that Chaitanya. It is, so this Kriya Shakti and Prana Shakti, they are there in this Matarishva. You follow this? Matari Antarikshe Sarva Prani Bhrut. Sarva Prana Bhrut means that is that which sustains all the beings. Prani is something which breathes. Any prani is something which breathes. Pra plus ana is prana. Pra plus ana. Ana is breathing. Prana is something associated with this breathing only. So this Sarva Prana Bhrut Kriyatmakaha, and then all these Karya Karana Jatani Votani Protani. All the beings which we see, they are woven into this. Vota Prota is one word which we have to note. Vota Prota means in English, it is called the warp and the weft. This warp and the weft you might not have heard. If you go to a loom, you know, a power loom, hand loom. It may be a hand loom, it may be a power loom. What happens there? There is a horizontal thread, there is a vertical thread. So there are some series of horizontal threads which are coming. There are series of vertical threads which are coming, and they are interwoven, interlocked, let us say. One goes up and another again goes down, it again goes up, it goes down. So similarly the horizontal head, say threads, they just go up and go down, go up, go down. So like that, they are woven into each other. So that is called, they are called the warp and the weft. That is the longitudinal say threads and the horizontal threads and the longitudinal threads. That is called the warp and the weft. That is called Vota Prota. So all these beings which are there, they are there woven into these things. It is a huge matrix, let us say. It is a huge say structure which is there. All these things, they are in their proper place. All these things which we see in the universe, they are in their proper place only because of the presence of that Atma, only because of the presence of that Supreme Brahman. All these things, they are in their place. So that is the picture here. Karya Karana Jatani Yasmin Votani Protani Cha. All these beings, they are there as Vota Prota. That is like the warp and weft in a loom. They are all arranged. They are all in a proper manner. They are arranged in that. Votani Protani Cha Yat Sutra Sangnakam Sarvasya Jagataha Vidharayitru. Sutra Sangnakam. So it is otherwise called Sutra or Sutratma. Sutra Sangnakam means it is designated as. Sutra Sangna. Sangna is a designation. Sutra Sangnakam means it is designated as Sutratma. Designated as Sutratma. Sarvasya Jagataha Vidharayitru. That is the sustainer. That is the supporter. Vidharayitru. Dhru, you know, dharana. Dharana is to hold, to sustain. Sarvasya Jagataha, of all the world. So it is the sustainer, it is the supporter for the entire universe. For the entire universe, what is that? That Prana Shakti, that Kriya Shakti, which is say enabling all these beings which are existing as though interwoven, and then they are in their proper place. So that is the meaning here. Sarvasya Jagatha Vidharayitru Sa Matarishva. So you understood this line? So there is a subtle, this is called the subtle body at the cosmic level. So Sukshma Sharira at the cosmic level. There is Sthola Sharira who is called Virat. There is a Sushma Sharira which is called Hiranyagarbha. So this is responsible for all our say activities, for all our Shakti, for all the activities in the world. This is responsible. The next line, Apaha Karmani Praninam Chesta Lakshanani Agnyaditya Parjanyadinam Jvalana Dahana Prakasha Abhivarshanadi Lakshanani Dadhati Vibhajati Ityarthaha. Okay, there is the word Tasmin Apo Matarishva Dadhati. The meaning, the word division is like that. Tasmin Apaha Matarishva Dadhati. Matarishva is the subject. Tasmin, in the presence of that Atman. In the presence of that Atman, Matarishva Apaha Dadhati. Matarishva, what does it do? Apaha. Apaha means duties. Apaha is it allots. Sorry, it allots. Apaha dadhati. Dadhati means it allots duties. So that is what he is explaining here. Apaha karmani are activities. Apaha means activities. Praninam cheshta lashanani. All our movements, all our actions, all our activities, whether they are Laukika activities or Vaidika Laukika activities, all the Vaidika Laukika activities, they are directed because of that. They are directed by whom? By this Matarishva. This Matarishva is the thing which is the Sukshma Sharira at a cosmic level. So that Sukshma Sharira or Hiranyagarbha, who is the subtle body at the cosmic level, that Hiranyagarbha is directing all our activities, all the activities, and it is as though allotting all the activities. Matarishva dadhati vibhajati. What are these different things which are under its supervision? Agni, Aditya, Parjanyadinam. Agni, you know, fire. Aditya is the sun. Parjanya, then a wind god. Adinam, Jvalana, Dahana, Prakasha, Abhivarsanadi. Parjanya is Megha. Parjanya is not air, it is Megha. Megha is the clouds. Agni, you know, it Dahana Kriya. Aditya, then Dahana, Prakashana, Lashanam. Aditya also, Prakashana, it shines. Then Parjanya, Varshana, Abhivarshana. Parjanya gives you rain. So all these things, like the sun is in its place because of this Atma Tattva. The moon is in its place because of the Atma Tattva. The Agni is giving heat because of the Atma Tattva. The Meghas, the clouds are raining because of this Atma Tattva. So all these universal, the whole universal order, let us say, the whole universal order is there because of this Atma Tattva. So in the presence of that Atma Tattva, this Hiranyagarbha is allocating all these prani karmas. He is allocating or assigning the duties to all these people. So this Hiranyagarbha is like the boss. He is like something like a Mesri, let us say. He is something like a boss who is allotting duties to all these Agni, Aditya, Parjanya and all these people. He is allotting, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this. So all these things, they function under the Matarishva, and Matarishva again is existing under the presence of that Shuddha Chaitanya. Is it okay? So apaha karmani praninam cheshta lakshanani agni aditya parjanyadinam jvalana dahana prakasha abhivarshanadi lakshanani. Jvalana is burning. Dahana and prakasha. Dahana is, that is burning, and also prakasha, giving light. And also not only gives heat but also gives light. Who is that? That is Aditya, Surya. Then Abhivarshana. Abhivarshana is raining. That is done by Parjanya. That is done by the clouds. All these things, dadhati vibhajati. So it is as though he assigns or allots that duty, or it is as though it supports or sustains. So this Matarishva is the one who is allotting all these duties, or who is, it is appearing as though, not as though there is somebody sitting in the air and then allotting all these duties to these people. We have to take it metaphorically, that basically we have to take this metaphorically only. Now we should not visualize that there is one Hiranyagarbha and then hitting all these people on the head and then giving them duties. It's not like that. Line up. He is not lining them up and then allotting duties. We have to only visualize that this universal order is existing because of that Supreme Brahman. So that is it. Dharayati iti va. So with iti va. Dharayati is again supporting. Dhru, you know, dharma, the word dharma comes from that only. Dharanat dharma uchyate. That which holds, that which sustains the society from disintegrating is dharma. You know the word dharma. Dharma, I think in the very, very first class of Gita, first or second class, I was explaining the meaning of this word dharma. Dharanat dharma uchyate. That which holds, that which sustains the society or the universe from disintegrating is called dharma. So at a lower level we can say that which holds the society. At a higher level we can say that which holds the universe. So at this universal level we can say dharayati iti va. Dharayati means that which supports or sustains or holds together. That is what is dharma. So this Hiranyagarbha is that Shakti. Hiranyagarbha is that say power, let us say. It is that particular say subtle body at the cosmic level which is sustaining the whole human activity. Not only human activity but the whole activity of the universe. So that is it. Then he is quoting one Shruti from Taittiriya Upanishad, that is the Taittiriya Upanishad. Bhishasmad vatah pavati. Let us read. Bhishasmad vatah pavati. Dharayati iti va after that. So you missed that line. Ityadi Shrutibhyaha. Bhisha asmad vatah pavate. That is Bhisha asmat. Asmat Bhisha means because of fear of this. Vataha. Vataha is air. Vata, you know, air. Pavate. It moves. Bhisha asmad vatah pavate. Because of this, because of the fear of this. It is not as though that Brahma Padartham is there holding a stick and then putting fear into minds of these people. It has to be taken metaphorically, as I said. Bhisha asmad vatah pavate bhishodeti suryaha. It goes on like that. That is a Taittiriya Upanishad mantra. It goes like that. Because of this the universal order, the Vayu, the breeze is there. Because of this, sun is there. Because of this, some moon is there. Because of this, Agni is doing its job. So like that, there is a universal order because of this Atma Tattva. So Bhishasmad vatah pavate ityadi Shrutibhyaha. From these Shrutis. Sarvahi. What is it? Swarahi. Not Swara. It must be a print mistake. Sarvahi. Karyakaranadi Vikriyaha. Karyakaranadi. Sorry. Karyakaranadi Vikriyaha. Nitya Chaitanya Atma Swarupe. Sarvaspada Bhute Satyeva. Bhavanti Ityarthaha. The same meaning he is explaining further. He is just repeating or elaborating. Sarvahi Karya Karanadi Vikriyaha. For everything in the universe, we can see a Karya or a Karana. We can distinguish all the visible things into Karya and Karana. There is a Karya, Karana Sambandha, I told you. There is a pen. There is an Upadana Karanam for this. Upadana Karanam for this pen is some plastic material. There is a Nimitta Karana. There is a maker who is there and then who has molded this particular plastic in a particular fashion. There is another person who has molded a particular, refill in a particular manner and put something into that. So this Upadana Karana is something, the raw material. Nimitta Karana is the idea, the person who is the maker. So this Karya Karana is there for all things, for all the things in the universe. This Karya Karana Sambandha. So you can go on explaining right up to Maya. So beyond that Maya is something where that Brahma Tattva is there. So all this Karya Karanadi Vikriyas, what are these things? They are all modifications. The only unmodified thing, avikriya thing is Brahman. Whereas all other things are starting from Maya, these are the things, these are all Maya Vikara, we say. These are all the manifestations of the Maya. These are all the modifications of the Maya. That is it. Karya Karanadi Vikriyaha Nitya Chaitanya Atma Swarupe Sarvaspada Bhute Satyeva. Nitya Chaitanya Atma Swarupe. This Nitya Chaitanya, earlier also, in the earlier line also it has come. This Nitya and Chaitanya Swarupa, Sarva Aspada Bhuta. Aspada is, that is the supporter for everything. Sarva Aspada Bhuta. It is supporter of everything. Sarvaspada Bhute Satyeva Bhavati. All this activity can happen only when that all sustaining power, that all sustaining Chaitanya, Shuddha Chaitanya is there. And because of the Chaitanya only, all these things are sustained, all these things are actually supported. So that is it. So let us go to the next mantra. The fourth mantra is over. We will go to the next mantra. Tadejati. Tannaijati. You have got that mantra? Taddure tadvantike. Tadantarasya sarvasya. Tadu sarvasyasya bhahyataha. So he says, Tat ejati. The same idea, it is being repeated in this, almost the same thing is repeated in the next mantra also. And Shankaracharya also is giving an explanation that Veda has utmost compassion for the human beings, and then it never gets tired. It never gets fatigued. And there is no fatigue in Veda. Veda wants to explain again and again, because the nature of Atma Tattva is so difficult that it wants to explain. It never gets tired. So that is what is the introduction given by Sri Shankaracharya. Because what is told in the fourth mantra is almost getting repeated in this mantra. Let us see this thing. Tat ejati. Ejru company we saw in the last mantra also. Tad anejadekam anejat na ejati. Ejru, we also saw that root. Ejru means company, shaking, moving. So it does not move. Tad ejati, tat naijati, na ejati. It does not move. Again the same thing, the same Ganesha story you have to remember. Whenever you say it is dure, it is antike, it moves not, and then it is far off and it is quite near. You please remember that Ganesha story. So once you remember Ganesha story, you will immediately recall that that is something which that Shuddha Chaitanya is all pervading. So it appears as though it is moving, it appears as though it is stationary. It's like that. Tat dure, tad dure, that is, it is far away. Tad dvantike, tat u antike. It is divided as tat plus u plus antike. Tad dvantike, it becomes tad dvantike. That is, antike means it is close. Tat dure, it is far away. Antike means it is closer, it is close. And tat antarasya sarvasya, not only close, tat antarasya sarvasya. For all things it is inside. Not only close, but it is inside. Tat antarasya sarvasya. Sarvasya means of all the things, of all the objects or things or beings, of all the beings, it is antaraha. Antaraha means inner. Antara is inner. Antarasya sarvasya. Tat u sarvasyasya bahyataha. It is also outside it's outside everything. It is inside everything and it is outside everything. Almost the same meaning is explained here. Let us read the say bhashyam. Na mantranam jamita astiti.
Na mantranam jamita astiti.
Purva mantroktamapi.
Purva mantroktamapi.
Artham punaraha.
Artham punaraha.
Tadejati iti. So he says, na mantranam jamita asti. Jamita, as I said, is fatigue. Fatigue, just getting fatigued. So you say something, even when you are handling your children, you say for some time, you try to convince them for some time, and if they keep on creating some noise, then at some point of time you lose patience and you start scolding them or giving them a small slap. So that there you are getting fatigued. So the Veda is something which is not getting fatigued. Veda is never getting tired. And that is the meaning. Jamita means fatigue. Na jamita, na mantranam jamita asti. There is no fatigue in Veda. In the context of Veda, there is no fatigue. Iti purva mantroktam api artham punaraha. Though it has been already said in the Purva mantra, though it has been already said in this Purva mantroktamapi, that means though it has been told or explained in the Purva mantra, Purvasmin mantre, even then again he is saying, Tat atma tattvam yat prakrutam tat ejati chalati tadevacha na ejati naiva chalati swataha achalameva sat स्वतः अचलमेव सत् चलतीव इत्यर्थः. Okay, the same thing he is explaining. Tat Atma Tattvam. What is this meaning of Tat? Tat is Atma Tattvam, where the subject matter here is Atma Tattvam. Whether it is Aneja Dekam Manaso Javiyo, whether it is there or here, Tat means Atma Tattvam, that Brahman. That is Ejati, Chalati, it moves. Tadeva, the same thing. Na ejati, swataha naiva chalati. This we have explained earlier. I have explained enough by telling that story and whatnot. Na ejati, swataha naiva chalati. By it never moves. Swataha achalameva sat chalati iva. By being stationary, by being just achalam. Achalam is without moving, something which has no movement. It looks as though chalati iva ityarthaha. It looks as though it is moving. That is, all other things are moving under its presence only. Only in the huge expanse, it is something like a Ghata Akasha and Matha, we will explain Akasha. I think we have come across this word Ghata Akasha and Mahakasha. Ghata Akasha is the space which is there in a small vessel. Ghata is a small vessel. It may be an earthen part, it may be some other vessel or something else. So this Akasha is nothing but some other Akasha only. This Ghata may move here and there, and then this Akasha should not think that I am moving here and there. This Akasha is same. This Ghatakasha, even if you take from here to some other place, from here to some other place, so the Akasha is not moving. Akasha is the same. So in the same manner, this Shuddha Chaitanya, Akasha is something which is usually compared to Chaitanya. That is because that is the closest thing to Brahma Padartha, Brahma Chaitanya. स्वतः अचलमेव सत् चलति इव इत्यर्थः. किंच तत् दूरे वर्षकोटिशतैरपि अविदुषाम् अप्राप्यत्वात् दूर इव. So this tat dure, that is far away. So normally earlier we told the meaning. So because it is all pervading, there is no question of dura and there is no question of distance and proximity. Because it is all pervading, there is no question of distance and proximity. But Shankaracharya is looking at it in a different way. He is giving a slightly different meaning. Tat dure means Varshakoti Setairapi Avidusham Aprapyatvat Duraiva. Avidusham, Vidwan is a Jnani. Vidusham means Jnaninam, for the Jnanis. Vidusham is Shashti Bahuvachanam. For the same Shashti, Vidwan, Shashti Bahuvachanam is Vidusham, for the Jnanis. Avidusham means for those who are not Jnanis. Na plus Vidusham. Avidusham is for those who are not Jnanis. Even if you work for hundreds and hundreds of years, it is not going to be attained. It is only when you do this Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana and all that, only then you can understand the nature of that Atma Tattva. So if you are not bothered about this, if you are only bothered about something else, if you are only bothered about some ritual, if you are only staying at the level of ritual or a religion. What is a religion? We have always discussed. Religion is basically a bundle of beliefs. Religion basically is a set of beliefs. Let us not denigrate it too much. It is a set of beliefs basically. Then okay, you do this yajna, you will go to this loka. You do this particular ritual, you will go to this particular heaven. And there are different types of heavens described in different types of religions. You see, there are so many religions in the world. Each religion saying, I am right. That is the picture. Only Vedanta says everybody is right. Vedanta says everybody is right because nobody has seen a heaven. So if some religion says what I say alone is true, it alone will take you to heaven. If you don't follow this, you will go to hell. Some other fellow also is saying the same thing. What I say alone is true. All other people who do not believe in this will be destroyed. So he goes one step further and says, my God will rain all huge stones on you, and then he will destroy this particular tribe. So like this, religions, they keep on quarreling. So that is why in Mahabharata there is a shloka where Yaksha Prashna, you know the context of Yaksha Prashna. These Pandavas in that Vanaparva, while they are moving in the forest, once it so happens that these Pandavas, they go to fetch some water. So first Sahadeva goes and then he drinks water and then he dies. And then likewise all the four brothers, they go. I will not tell the whole story. You must be knowing the story. The four brothers, they go and then they do die. Before drinking water, there is a yaksha, there is a spirit there. That spirit, it keeps on warning them. Okay, you please answer my question. You please answer my question, then only you can take water. So these people, they disregard that spirit and then they go to take the water. So this chap, the last brother, that Sahadeva, he goes, disregards the yaksha and then he takes some water and then he dies. The same thing happens to the other brother Nakula, same thing happens to Arjuna, same thing happens to Bhima. So ultimately Dharmaraja, he gets worried and then he personally goes there. He also he sees, but at the same time he is feeling so thirsty that he wants to take some water. At that time, this yaksha, that spirit appears and then it puts him some questions. So this is an episode which it gives a very a thorough insight into the social dynamics of that time. The social dynamics of that time, the way various questions were put about the society, social structure, Like all the criticism which we are seeing today about the social structure, all these questions were put there. Who is a Brahmin? What is the greatness of a Brahmin? So like that, so many questions are put. And in that context, Yaksha also puts a question. What is truth? What is religion? So this Dharmaraja, he gives an answer. Tarko apratishtaha shrutayo vibhinna naiko rushiryasya matam pramanam. Which means tarkaha apratishtaha. All these means of logic and all these things which is something which is unsettled. You can keep on arguing and arguing, but you will never get at a point. You will never get at a finality. There is no final opinion in that, because everybody says what I am saying is right. Because all this argument is with an agenda. You can reach truth only when you discuss without an agenda. When you have an agenda, when you say that what I say is right, you cannot arrive at truth. So that is why all this logic, because every darshana, every philosophy, a school of philosophy is augmented or supported by a logic only. There is a system of logic for Buddhists, there is a logic for Nayayikas, there is a logic, the logic itself is, that is their mainstay. Then Mimamsakas, they have their own logic, Vedanti has his own logic. In Vedanta again, Dvaita Vedanti has his own logic. So like that, Tarkaha Pratishtaha Shrutayo Vibhinnaha, the Shrutis, the texts, the scriptures, they talk in different meanings, with different meanings. So you have to harmonize, you have to see some Ekavakyata, you have to see some unity. Naiko Rushiryasya Matam Pramanam. There is not a single Rishi or not a single, we can say even prophet, let us say. There is not a single person whose Matam can be Pramanam. Yasya Matam Pramanam. One, you cannot say that this is standard, this is the only truth. So in that situation, what has to be done? Mahajano yena gatasya pantha. You have to only follow the path of great people, realized souls, the realized souls who have seen Atma everywhere. So you have to follow those people. So that is the picture here. So that is what is the Avidusham Dure Tadvantike. All these people who keep on wrangling, who keep on thinking about what is truth and what not, all these people, they will never know the truth. So only a person who can see that Advaya, who can see the unity in things, only they can see this Atma. So let us see this line. Tat dure varshakoti setairapi avidusham aprapyatvat dura iva. That is, for all these avidusham, for all these people who are not learned, who don't go through this Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasa, for all these people, varshakoti setairapi, hundreds and hundreds of years, even if they try and then if they pursue this study, that study and whatnot, so this Atma Tattva, it will be away. It will elude them. It will be away from them. These people cannot reach it. So in that sense, it is Dure. The earlier explanation of Dure, what we discussed, was in a very physical sense. That is, Atma Tattva is something which is all pervading. So in that sense, there is no question of distance and proximity. But here Shankaracharya is giving a slightly different meaning here. Tat Dure iva. Tat u antika iti.
Tat u antika iti.
Chedaha. Tat u antike. Antika means antike. While writing, that A is not mentioned. Tat u antike iti chedaha. Chedaha means that pada cheda. The word has to be divided. Tadvantike. Tadvantike has to be divided as tat u, tat plus u plus antike. That is close. For whom? For Avidusha, for an Avidwan, for an Ajnani, that is an ignorant man who is not bothered about Atma Tattva, it is very far away. Even if you work, even if you pursue all other things for hundreds and hundreds of years, you will not understand it. But for one for whom Tadvantike Samipe Atyanta Eva Atyantameva Vidusham Atmatvat. Okay, he is giving another point here. Samipe Atyantameva. It is Atyantam Samipe. It is so close. So close means it is all Atyantam. It can't be more, there can't be more closer than that. So why? So the Vedanta says Vidusham Atmatvat. Vidusham, that is for this Panditanam. For this word Vidwan, this is Shashti Bahuvachanam. Vidusham Atmatvat. That is the very self. This Brahman is the very self. What is it? So we have heard this line, Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. So this Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati, we know that line. What is it? A person who knows Brahma, he becomes Brahma. If you know a pen, you are not becoming a pen. If you know a watch, you are not becoming a watch. But if you know Brahma, you are becoming a Brahman. What is it? If you know about a god, you are not becoming a god, but you know about this Brahman, you are becoming Brahman. If you know about a god, okay, there again there is a sense of duality. You are approaching a god, you are visualizing a god figure, and then you are approaching him in a sense of duality, I versus you, and then I am worshipping you, I want this boon from you, so you have to give me this boon. So this is that sense of duality with which you go to a temple and then we have a prayer and whatnot. So, but this Brahmavit, he goes beyond this stage of say requesting. So there is no difference. So he realizes he is nothing apart from this Shuddha Chaitanya. The same Shuddha Chaitanya is his personality. It is his own self. So when does he become this Shuddha Chaitanya? All these Upadhi dharmas have to be eradicated. This Upadhi dharmas we were thinking earlier. This Upadhi is the mind. This Buddhi is this Upadhi. Buddhi has its own defects. All these defects are, they are superimposed on this Shuddha Chaitanya. Adhyastha, we use the technical word Adhyastha. Adhyastha means where these things are superimposed on this, say, eternal Brahman. So by nature this is pure Chaitanya, and then the qualities of this Buddhi are superimposed on the Shuddha Chaitanya. So what are these qualities of this Buddhi? This raga, dvesha, hankara, mamakara, the feeling of I and mine and all these things. So these are all these qualities which are superimposed on this self. So these are the things. Once you get rid of all these things, what remains? What remains is Shuddha Chaitanya only. You get rid of all these superimposed things. Suppose there is a lot of dirt. In the first passage also, in the first shloka also, Yatha Chandana Agarvadehe, there was one example given. There is a sandalwood which is slightly soaked in water, and then it is getting a bad smell. Or after a lot of rubbing and whatnot, the good smell comes out. So like that, all these superimposed things, all the dirt which has been there, once it is removed, what remains is Shuddha Chaitanya. That is Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. You are eradicating all this raga dvesha. A man is becoming simpler and simpler. So that is why it is said, a jnani is something like a child. A jnani is something like a child. Tasmad brahmana pandityam nirvidya balyena tishtaset. So for the word balyam, there are two meanings which are given. One meaning given is a jnani is somewhat like a child. So he is nothing, there is nothing called his or anything. He is a child, just like a child has nothing of its own. Until that idea of ego is developed in that. So if you ask it, it will give something. It only needs some food. So like that, a jnani is in that state. So Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati means that all these raga, dvesha, etc., they are eradicated. In fact, what is basically a common man? Common man is nothing but a Shuddha Chaitanya on whom all these buddhi qualities have been superimposed. They have been attributed on him. So from this common man, if you remove all this common man minus all these adhyastha gunas, what remains is Brahma Chaitanya. You can give a small mathematical equation like that. So like that. So in this vidusham atmatvat means Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. That is the meaning here. Nakevalam dure antikecha. So for an ignorant man it is far away, and for a jnani it is very close. He feels it. He feels that Brahma Chaitanya once he gets rid of the superimposed qualities of the mind. So that is the meaning here. Tad antara abhyantare asya sarvasya. Okay. Tat antaha abhyantare asya sarvasya. Tat antaha. Antaha means inside. Anta is inside. Abhyantara. Abhyantara is antara is same thing. Sarvasya. So it is inside everything. That is what is pervading everything. That is all pervading. Ya atma sarvantara iti shrutehe.
Ya atma sarvantara iti shrutehe.
He is quoting from some Shruti, Atma Sarvantara, that is inside everything. It inheres, it is inherent in everything, immanent in anything. There is another word called immanent. It is immanent in everything. Then Asya Sarvasya Jagataha Nama Rupa Kriyatmakasya Tat U Api Sarvasyasya Bhahyataha Vyapakatvat Akashavat Niratishaya Sukshmatvad Antaha. So this is the line Tadu Sarvasyasya Bhahyataha. Tadantarasya sarvasya tat u sarvasyasya bahyatah. What is it? Sarvasya. What is sarvasya? Jagatah. And this jagat, what is this jagat? There is only one thing which is there, that is Brahman. And this one is appearing as many. So that is why we are using the word sarvasya, of all things. What is this all things? Nama Rupa Kriya. So we have come across this shloka from the Dakshinamurti Stotram also. This Nama, Rupa, these are the things which are only manifestations. This Chit and Sat, they are the only thing which are this Brahma Rupam. This Nama, Rupa, etc. are Jagad Rupam. Nama, Rupa, Kriya, all these things are Jagad Rupam. This manifestation, all the manifestations are, they are called the Jagat. The only Shuddha Chaitanyam and then Shuddha Chit, the existence and consciousness, these are the things which are pervading. These are the two things which are called the Brahma Rupam. So this Shuddha Chit and Sat are the Brahma Rupa. This Nama Rupa Kriyatmakasya Jagatah. So this Jagat is characterized by this Nama and Rupa. Anything you take, it has got a Nama, it has got a Rupa. That is a name and a shape. And then it has a particular function. A name, shape and function. These are the things which define the world. So this what sustains this is the ultimate Chit and Sat. The ultimate Chit is that existence, the principle of consciousness. Sat, the principle of existence. The principle of existence and the principle, 4 minutes, the principle of consciousness. These two things, they are the Brahma Rupam. Whereas the other things, this name, form and action, they are the Jagad Rupam. So that is what we saw there also. The same thing we have to apply here. Nama Rupa Kriyatmakasya tad u api sarvasyasya bahyatah. The same Brahma Tattvam is bahyatah. It is outside everything. Then again, metaphorically, it is not as though it is inside everything and outside everything in a very literal sense. It is a metaphorical sense. Tadanta sarvasyasya bahyatah vyapakatvat akashavat niratisaya sukshmatvad antaha. Vyapakatvat, vyapaka is something which is all pervading. This there are two words which we have to note. There is what is called a vyapya and what is called a vyapaka. Vyapyam is something which occupies a lesser space. Vyapaka occupies a larger space. So for example, you take milk, let us say. Out of milk you can make tea, you can make coffee, you can make a chocolate, you can make something else, you can make some sweet, you can make something else. So this tea is something which is a small portion of that milk. A tea is only one particular manifestation, only one particular portion of that thing called milk. So this is called Vyapya. Then not only tea, you can make some coffee, you can make some chocolate, you can make something else. All these things, they are there inside that huge circle called milk. So this milk occupies a larger space. This chocolate, candy and all these things, they occupy smaller space, isn't it? So this is actually Vyapya and Vyapaka. They are two words which are used in logic, Tarka Shastra. So they actually use some circles. They put a small circle. So this small circle is Vyapya, that which is been say pervaded. And Vyapaka is something which is pervading. This is pervaded, and a bigger circle is what pervades. That is Vyapaka. So this Vyapakatvat Akashavat Niratishaya Sukshmatvat. Akashavat. Then again, this Akasha is a common simile. In this, in fact, common example. Not simile. It is a common example which is given to describe that Brahmagyana, because that is something which is very, very not Brahmagyana. It is Brahman, Brahma Chaitanya. So that is something which is very, very close. That is the only thing. Because Akasha is something which is all pervading. You take a Ghata Akasha and then a huge Akasha. It is something like a wave, a small wave, thinking itself as a ocean. A small wave is not different from ocean. Wave can always say that I am the ocean. So like that, Akashavat Niratishaya Sukshmatvat. So Niratishaya means there is nothing beyond. Niratishaya, Nis plus Atishaya. There is nothing which goes beyond. There is nothing which exceeds. There is nothing which excels. So that is Niratishaya. Niratishaya Sukshmatvat. It is so subtle. So that is why it is Antaha. Prajnana Ghanayeva Iticha.
Prajnana Ghanayeva Iticha.
Shasanat. Nirantaramcha.
Nirantaramcha.
So this Atma is also called Prajnana Ghanaha. Prajnana Ghana is another word used taken from another Upanishad. Time over? Okay, let us we'll explain this word because this word Prajnana Ghana requires some explanation. We'll do it in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.